My dad has been playing Dark Souls as his first video game ever played. There's been a pretty steep learning curve.
Oh, come on.
So, as he has reached the end of the game, we brought on none other than the world record Dark Souls speedrunner, QQ, to absolutely dazzle Dad with glitches and a level of gameplay he did not even know could exist. Don't blink, Dad. You could miss it. All right, QQ, I think we can hear you.
Hey, what's up?
So
let's make my character not look magnificent real quick.
Yeah, goof off with your character for fun. See, did you even play with the little character manager in the beginning?
Me, I never did. I was just glad to see the video game play.
He was impressed that it even worked. See, look how quickly he just speed ran, making him look like a purple piece of junk.
I'm a grape.
He's a grape. He's that guy from McDonald's, you know, the big purple?
Yeah.
The grimace, yeah.
That's pretty common, is people just making their character look like absolute dog crap.
I actually use my character's head for some specific things, so I'm going to set my character back to commoner. Just so everything's normal, but
he's gonna use his character's head to line up certain skips and cheats. It's all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so before I actually start the run, I'm gonna explain some stuff about the character select screen. Right now, I'm playing as a male, which actually does matter for something later on. The difference is male and female in this game have different idle animations, so a specific glitch that we do later on works more consistently with males, and also there's something to do with the running speed acceleration, but that's not super important. Another important thing is the cleric starting class. That starts us off with a proper amount of faith and attunement, and starts us off with a covenant for talking to one NPC, which just saves a tiny bit of dialogue and an interaction with them. And lastly, probably most importantly, the black fire bombs, which we're going to use to kind of blaze through the first two bosses of the game. And I have to perform a series of like 4 frame perfect inputs with them later on the run. It's cool and fun. Anyway, I'm ready to start. So
yeah,
just give me the go ahead whenever.
Quick context, QQ, what is your PR? What was your world record time?
The world record for Prepare to Die Edition Any Percent, the original release of Dark Souls 1 on the PC, is 19 minutes and 28 seconds in-game time. We're not going to get that time today.
I think today's the day. We're going sub 19 right now. Live.
No.
Run it, brother.
So we're going to skip these intro cutscenes right away and just start making our way through the asylum. And there is kind of a little detour that we're going to go through right at the very beginning. You might notice that when we actually get there. Right off the bat, I'm going to actually get naked pretty much as soon as I get onto this ladder, just because we want to be as low of a carry weight as possible pretty much throughout the entire run. Fast rolling is just kind of the best thing that you can do in this. And right here, I'm going to actually start using my initial fire bombs just to very quickly kill the asylum demon. So I'm going to throw 1, 2, 3, roll 1, and he's dead. So very quick, very easy.
Any comments on that, Dad? Remember how long it took you?
How many sessions it took me?
I have a friend who's also doing a first playthrough right now, and it's been a joy watching them play. But right here, I'm going to actually do the first glitch of the run. So I jumped and quit out right next to this wall. So basically what happens when I quit out right there is the wall just breaks. Instead of like needing the boulder to come down, I still do have to go up here and go through this boulder right here and interact with this wall.
How did you get through that boulder without being flung back?
You rolled.
So I backstepped through it. Backstepping in this game provides you with infinite poise. So it means that you can just kind of just tank your way through pretty much any hit. And right here, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this hollow to come back up the ladder and do another basically setup of a glitch that stores my position on this ladder for kind of like a big warp later on. Nice, I got it. So right now, the game will constantly think that I'm like, even though I'm like walking around and not at that ladder, the game still thinks that I'm at that ladder. So if I do something later on, that will make it so that basically force the game to update my position, I can come back to that spot. It's very complicated. The person who found this out is very smart and very gifted at finding skips and stuff. So we're done with the asylum.
So-
and we're going to go.
Quick
Yeah,
question
ask
for
your
that. So, for you, had any questions so far? Anything that's confusing? He's just blown away right now. Like, so how do people discover those kind of, so you're saying that your position is currently saved in the back end of the game, back at that ladder. How do people find that kind of stuff?
So there's actually a series of ways. I'm just going to sit here and explain this. There's a series of ways that people figure that out. One of the most common ways is just going through basically like the cheat engine tables that we have for these games. These games are written in a bunch of like hex code, essentially, which is just a bunch of like ones and zeros. They look at those, like the programming language, and are like, oh, this should behave like this, and then they test it, and then they kind of brute force stuff and eventually find stuff. Thankfully, the glitch that I just set up right now was actually discovered in a different game a couple years ago, but we didn't know how to do it in this game until like November of 2024. So this is kind of a more unique way of doing it because of specific restrictions in this game. But glitch discovery is it takes a certain kind of mind to do it and a certain background to do it.
It's interesting you say that it was discovered in another game, because that's another thing I've ran into whenever I like watch speedruns and stuff, is there's glitches that will work in other games that really make the run so much faster. And then immediately people start looking at their own game that they run and be like, can I make that happen some way in mine? But there's certain glitches that like transcend games.
Definitely. So right now, I'm going to hopefully get through this section without getting hit at all, because if I get hit, then the glitch stops working. Okay, sick. I made it through that part. Right now, if I get hit at all, it will update my current position, and it will make the thing that I tried setting up earlier not work. This is the most reset heavy part of this category, pretty much. So I'm just gonna take my time. Okay.
He just stepped over to that thing's foot.
All right, cool. We made it through. I'm not worried about the rest of the run now. Okay. So right now, I'm going to buy a bunch of things. I'm just going to mention what they are. But yeah, so right here, I'm buying a throwing knife, one large arrow, just because it's a convenient spot to actually buy it in. And then I buy a rapier, a reinforced club, and a bow. And I buy these three weapons for a glitch that I'm going to do in a little bit called move swapping. And I'll explain that more in a little bit, but right now I just want to showcase this. My position is still in the Undead Asylum. The reason why it still thinks that I'm there is because I tricked the game into thinking that I'm still on that ladder in the asylum. There is a mechanic in this game where if you run out of stamina, you enter this like tumble fall animation and your character starts falling in midair down. Normally you would hit the ground and you'd fall off the ladder, but there's no ladder here. I'm going to roll 2 times, do a heavy attack, and then quit out. 1, 2. You see my character just starts flailing around, and I'm going to be back at that ladder, which is just in the middle of the sky. And then I land here and quit out. And upon loading back in, I will have skipped most of the Undead Burg and a bunch of Undead Parish.
Did you get that, Dad? Write it down.
If I look
for
down
your
right
next
here,
run,
there's that giant armored boar right there. So I'm just gonna jump down here, and now I'm gonna go this way and do another skip called Sen's Gate Skip, which makes it so that I can enter Sen's Fortress without ringing either of the 2 bells of awakening.
this one I actually know how to do. I know how to do this one. I attempted it. I got it. It was so tricky.
Nice.
So he's skipping ringing the bells.
Yes, I do have to go back and ring them later in order to actually access the Lord Vessel altar. But right now I'm waiting for this hollow to come over here, and I'm going to parry his. Why did I heavy attack? That is an interesting mistake that I don't normally make. Just reorder my equipment right there real quick. And right now, the game kind of thinks that I'm dead, but also doesn't think that I'm dead. I'm currently in something called Death Cam, but the game is not going to load anything else right now. The bridge to Sen's Fortress is still available, and the gate is not loaded. So right now, I'm navigating across the bridge to go to Sen's Fortress. And the gate won't be there.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. Well, I can see the
you can see my little.
Yeah,
you can see my little
dust.
footsteps. Yeah, I'm just gonna jump and quit out right here, and now I'm in Sen's Fortress. So we just skipped ringing both those bells. So I'm just gonna go through here. Normally this segment is pretty relaxed. in speedruns. You just kind of adopt one specific cycle.
Took me forever to get through those things.
Yeah, no, this is a very infamous area for a lot of first playthroughs. We know that everything kind of runs on one big cycle, so we can just kind of optimize our movement and stamina usage accordingly. So let's see, I'm gonna put this here.
Gee whiz.
So I'm actually going to come up here and quit out now so that I reset the boulder so that it doesn't crush me to death. And if you just stay on the left side of this hallway, it just avoids the trigger for that trap. So we're all set. And this snake up here got my way. And that's the majority of Sense Fortress. That's not the scary part of this route, though.
I think he's played this game a couple times then.
You think?
The scary part is actually the Iron Golem fight, because, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm going to have to do a kind of multi-input frame-perfect trick in a little bit. If I mess it up, it's okay. I have practiced a backup for it, but
I do recognize where he is. Yeah.
You recognize where I am? Yeah.
Yes.
So what I just did right there, I'm just going to sit and explain it real quick. Normally, the game does not let you two-hand a weapon in your left hand. So like normally if you press triangle or Y on your controller, you can two-hand a weapon. But you can't normally do that with a left-hand weapon. But because the bow is able to be two-handed in your left hand, you can actually trick the game by changing your input while you're like midway through a jump or a roll or any basically action or interaction. You can change your weapon from the bow to your desired weapon, and it will take on the characteristics of your right hand weapon. So normally the club's running attack is like this big overhead swing, but if I instead move swap it with the rapier, it gets this double hit fast poke attack. So I get 2 running attacks for the price of 1, which is very, very useful, especially later on. And you're really going to see the power of that when I get to Ornstein and Smough.
So from what I understand, you're able to have any weapon, regardless of its damage or size, behave as quickly as like a little dagger, right?
Yep. Bob is unfortunately just being a jerk. And right here, I will explain what I'm going to do in a second as soon as I finish it. It's just I need to focus a lot for this part. Nice. Okay. 2. Oh, shoot. Okay. That's okay. I got 1 frame deep. That's okay. So. And bye-bye. So.
You just shoved him off?
Yeah. So if you deal. So I'm going to explain everything that I just did right now. So frame duping is basically how I used multiple firebombs even though I ran out. If you use an item on the last frame that is able to be used in your inventory, if you press the use button again, you'll be able to use another one. And you can do that ad nauseum as long as you get the frame perfect input correctly. But that's like a 30th of a second. So it's very precise. And the other thing is how I knocked him off. If you deal 400 damage to below his knees, he enters this stagger animation where he starts bobbing back and forth. And then if you do another 200 damage to him, he gets knocked over. And if he's angled in a way that he is basically going to make him fall off the cliff, he'll fall off the cliff and just instantly die. So even though our damage right now is pretty low, we're able to finish him off very quickly. And this allows us to enter Anor Londo within, normally this would be about 5 minutes into the run. Very cool. I would say that like maybe 10% of runs get about this far if you're trying to go for like world record pace, just because of a lot of early stuff like I mentioned, getting hit early on or missing a frame dupe, or Iron Golem just behaving weird.
Yeah, I mean, did you see him fight? How many bosses have you seen him fight?
Fight? Like 1 or 2?
Yeah, we don't fight a ton of bosses in this route. We fight as minimal bosses as, not like the least amount that you can possibly fight in the game, but it's pretty close to that. So right here, I'm just going to try to not get obliterated by this guy. He can throw a knife at you as soon as you start climbing up the ladder, which at this low of a level will just end up one-shotting you because you'll get chained by the other one. So
I can't. You know, remember me just plodding along, not falling off. Oh, what?
There you go. Yeah, some of this parkour is pretty fun to do. This guy, I'm just running while looking backwards so that in case he throws a throwing knife at me. Yep, okay. if he does that, I pat this way so that it misses. Jump across right here. Watch out for him slamming down right there. Fine. All right. So this part up here is usually pretty infamous, like all these archers and imps up here. I'm pretty confident in everything. You still can get kind of messed up if you're not 100% careful, but we'll see. Hopefully everything goes okay.
Remember this area, don't you?
Yeah, the gargoyle followed me, almost hit me right there. Kid, gotta dodge that. I listened to the audio cue of him throwing his spear. Okay, he's gonna throw that one. I'm just gonna roll it.
Go.
Equip this here. Wait for a shot on the left to hit the wall. I'm just gonna put it like this. Should be able to just knock him off. And now we're through Anor Londo. So, right now, I'm going to level up for the first and only time of the run, where I'm going to get 12 attunement and 27 strength. The 12 attunement is so that I can equip one more spell later on.
41.
And the 27 strength, or 28, I guess right now, is to wield the Dragon Tooth in two hands. The Dragon Tooth is going to be our main weapon throughout the rest of the run. So just toggle escape that. Right there, I canceled my stagger animation by swapping my weapon the second I was attacked.
Got stabbed and just kept on running like it was nothing. Like his health is... What the heck?
Yep. Quickly grab this. And then I don't need these souls, so I'm just going to Dark Sign back and just get rid of all of them. So right now, I'm going to unequip this. I'm just making sure that my inventory is all set. Go here, up the staircase. There's this little shortcut that you can do. You just jump across right here, and it skips the entire like upper section of Anor Londo. So now I'm going to go fight Ornstein and Smough. But I'm going to do this one specific funny thing that makes it so that they don't move. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain it right here before I actually load back into the game. Every 151 in-game frames, so every 5 seconds, the game readdresses your character and is like, okay, you're here. We know that you're here. So we're going to make it so that the enemies attack you. But if you switch your weapon, so like if you change your left-hand weapon or your right-hand weapon, your character is unloaded from being able to be detected during that small refresh period for about like 3 frames. So we're going to abuse that by doing a series of toggles so that Ornstein and Smough will not recognize that we are in the boss fight arena with them. So you'll see what I mean in a second. 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. That's a frame 2 entrance. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could do that forever. So I'm just gonna quit out real quick just so I can restart that. And this is how I'm gonna fight them. So let's see, do this again real quick. I just wanted to show you it at a more extended period, but they will come back to life the second that I attack them. That's basically just to make it so that like it's guaranteed.
So they don't even know you're there.
Nope, until I attack them. So now they know. You see how they start attacking now?
Yeah.
I can just kind of like sit near them for as long as I need to. And because I'm doing the running attack with the Dragon Tooth with the Rapier moveset, I'm able to hit him twice and just instantly stagger him over and over again. All right, he's gonna just misbehave a tiny bit, but that's okay. And that's Ornstein and Smough. Very fun. Very, very good boss fight. Before that, the AFK skip was discovered, that boss fight was fairly annoying. Now you just need to know how to do that AFK thing and like how to basically make it so they just don't notice you, and how to running attack with the Dragon Tooth. So right now we're killing her so that she gives us the Lord Vessel. It's faster to just kill her than to talk to her because violence always solves all your problems. And now we're gonna go start ringing the bells because I mentioned earlier that we need to go to the Lord Vessel in order to actually beat the game. So first I'm gonna go to Undead Parish and do gargoyles.
Yeah, that's an important point to make. So from what I understand, he skips the bosses, Quelaag and the Bell Gargoyles to get to Anor Londo and get that Lord Vessel to open the final door, but he technically the game will not allow you to fight Gwyn and beat the game unless you've rang the bells. So now he has to do some quick backtracking to actually ring the bells. But he's going to do it in a way that is a little bit quicker than most people would do it.
Shoot, I messed
Well,
up.
it's quicker than what I did it.
Okay, I messed up. It's fine. I can recover this. Okay. We're okay. That room can be very annoying, and I messed up the AFK sequence, but so the reason why we have to ring both the bells is because otherwise we would have to go through Koth after killing the 4 kings, and that's fairly slow, and Framp does not appear to give us access to Firelink Altar before we ring both the bells. So
Oh, the gargoyles.
it seems kind of dumb. Yeah, you just obliterate them. We just kill them instantly. So this weapon's really good.
How did you do that?
Yeah, it seems a little weird if you're not super familiar with speedrunning this game to go back and like do stuff that you could have done earlier. But we have higher damage now, and we have the ability to warp. So we're just able to get to different areas a lot faster.
Ring.
So right now, I'm going to go to Quelaag, but I'm going to do this fancy skip called Blighttown skip. But first I have to kill this guy. Hi. Yeah, you just shove him off. We need to use the Firelink bonfire, and if we kill Quelaag and he's still alive, he disables that bonfire. So, right here, I'm going to start setting up the most intricate skip of this category. It's called Blighttown skip. We're not going to set foot in Blighttown once. We're just going to go straight to Quelaag. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to set up a very precise series of basically rolls so that I trick the game into loading me in between 2 different areas, and I fall through this elevator shaft out of bounds. So if I did that correctly, which I did, I will begin falling here and splat on this pixel-wide seam, and then I'm going to do another precise aim setup right here. Roll backwards, roll forwards, aim here, roll, and then land on this pixel-wide seam. So right now, I'm right next to New Londo ruins. That if you go that way, you'd go to the fort, like New Londo ruins.
Dad's being a dad, and he missed all of that because he was looking at a phone call.
I can do it again. It's fine.
Yeah, do that one again. It was a certified dad moment. He was just looking at his phone because someone was trying to call. He keeps fumbling.
Yeah. I'll just very quickly go back there. It's very easy to set up again.
Why am I so humiliated?
It's okay. So I'm going to do this again. Gonna get into this corner, set this up. Let's see. Here. Already dropped my stuff. Backstep into this corner of the elevator. Even though it's a big circle, it's still a corner. It's not actually a circle, it's I think it has like 20 sides. So whatever a 20-sided thing is. Dodecahedron, I believe. Flip back in. Backstep. Right. So now I'm back on this pixel-wide seam. So right now you can kind of see it. As I pivot my camera, it looks like it's this very thin piece of paper that I have to stand on, and that's true. It is a pixel wide. It is as thin as it can possibly be in the game, and it becomes invisible in a little bit. So I thankfully have all of this memorized. See right here. Oh shoot! I have it memorized. I swear. I was a tiny bit too far to the right. So right here, I load back in, go straight. Okay, and now I'm going to do a plunge off this. And now I am in Quelaag's domain. I skipped all of Blighttown, then set foot in the poison swamp once. And now I'm going to kill Quelaag, kind of in the same way that I did the past couple times. Nice, she gave me a good attack. And she's dead.
No more booby spider.
That's done.
Our damage has been pretty good so far. It's gonna fall off a tiny bit with this last part. We have not upgraded at all, so we're just still dealing with a +0 weapon. I actually do need these souls right here because I need to go buy some stuff from this NPC, Petrus. He's gonna allow us to get into the final area of the game in like a couple seconds. So I'm just gonna talk to him real quick. He's gonna give me a penny because he thinks I'm homeless. I do look homeless. He's like, oh yeah, you're already part of my club. So I'm going to buy Homeward, Force, and 2 talismans. I know that was pretty fast, and you didn't really see what I bought, but you will in a sec.
Yeah, to point something
And
out,
I'm just gonna...
remember you had to kill those 4 lords. What he's about to do is effectively make it so he can just get through that door without it having opening.
Without having to kill those 4 lords.
Yep.
Those
So,
4 lords
right
just
now,
about killed me.
I have to do a very, very specific series of inputs. 1, 2, parry. Okay, now I am in the exact coordinates that I need to be in. And if I do this correctly, what I'm going to do is something called a spell swap. So I'm going to cast force, but I'm gonna cancel that and use, like, the actual spell that I'm gonna use is homeward, and that's gonna trick the game as soon as I interact with the bonfire into warping me to an area that I'm not supposed to go to. Let's see if I get this. Nice. Okay, I got it, and I'm in the last area of the game. So the reason that happened is because the last bonfire that I rested at was the Lord Vessel, which is behind that door up there, and the default location of the Lord Vessel up there is exactly where I'm standing right now. And the spell swap that I just did puts you at the default location of the last bonfire that you rested at. In layman's terms, I tricked the game into sending me to the home location of the last place I was at. That's how you skip all 4 lords and get to the end of the game
2 hours.
in 20 minutes. So,
For you, QQ, one thing, when you get to the end, don't actually finish the game, because he hasn't beaten it yet. So we want to save some of that.
I won't.
But he's here. He's here, literally here in his playthrough. He is running this run back.
Have you fought the final boss yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Very painfully.
I will not. As soon as I beat him, I will end it. So I will not do the final thing. I will just kill him, and that will be it. But yeah, if you have any other questions that you've had throughout the rest of this run, I'd be happy to answer them as soon as I'm done with the boss. He can be obnoxious sometimes, so I might have to do him once or twice. Need to get through this little segment right here. Hopefully they do not hit me through the fog gate. Nice.
He's hitting him.
That was a bit stressful. If he jumps back like that, that can disrupt the flow of the fight. Right now, all I'm doing is just stagger looping him, just because the Dragon Tooth is so powerful, and that's how you kill him.
Gee.
So normally in a speedrun, you would end him in a different way, because it's a little bit faster, but this is definitely the safer of the ways. So, yeah. That's Dark Souls 80%.
Okay. I am humbled in the presence of the master.
Yeah, no problem. It's a pleasure.
Huge shout out to QQ for the run. Be sure to subscribe to see more, and consider supporting us on Patreon or becoming a channel member to get early access to videos. But as always, thanks for watching.